we're gonna work.
There you go.
All righty, here we go. So how are you doing, Kevin?
Doing good. Very good, Robert.
Excellent, excellent. So I know you've had a busy day. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, well, yeah, I've had been in meetings most of the day, including my Rotary Club meeting here that just finished a little while ago, and so now on to the good stuff.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Robert Gibb & Sons.
Yeah, well, so Robert Gibb & Sons is a 108-year-old company. We started here in 1915 by it was actually my wife's grandfather. His name was Robert Gibb, started a plumbing and heating company in 1915. Actually, they started in 1906, but officially 1915. And in 108 years, he ran the company until 1951, and then his son, which is my wife's father, ran the company until 1987, and since then, my wife's brother, Bob, so they're all three Robert Gibb in the same family, ran that company for 108 years.
Wow.
So Bob is still our chairman. I've taken over the operations now, but Bob is still our chairman. He shows up every day. When he's in town, he's there at the office every day.
Wow, that's impressive.
And so is his brother Greg, who is our executive vice president of the holding company. So.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. You ever, when you guys are working, you think back, and I don't know if you're sitting around with coffee or talking, what was the business like back in 1915 compared to today? It's just
so. Give you an
history.
example. Back then they didn't have air conditioning, so boilers and heating plants was the big deal.
Yeah.
And an interesting story. I was just looking at the Fargo City Civic Center across the street here. In 1958, it was summer of '58 when we bid that job, and actually. We were $500 below the next bidder, which was Sorensen at the time.
Wow.
And we got the job, and it was just a huge deal. And it was a $500,000 job, which in 1958 was a lot of money.
Ooh.
But there was no air conditioning or anything like that. It was just the heating and all that goes with that.
Yeah.
And a pretty big deal.
That's interesting.
But you'll see a lot of the big projects in town. The Fargo Dome, the city center, a lot of the Sanford Hospital, most of the Sanford downtown. We did all those projects over the years.
That's pretty cool. Speaking of your projects, anything else super exciting going on right now?
Well, we've got, it's surprising. You'd think that with the economy, people seeing, changes and maybe a recession coming, that kind of thing. We don't really see that. We don't feel it here in Fargo.
I know.
People that have TVs think, oh, it's coming, but we don't really feel it. I ask, every day, what do we got to bid, and the list is longer every day. We're bidding projects. So
yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
No slowdown for Robert Gibb & Sons.
No slowdown. No.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is there anything that the company needs or that you guys are looking for these days?
Well, we're always looking for people. Skilled labor is difficult to find. We've been on the advisory board over at M-State in Moorhead for many years, and a few years back they were talking about expanding the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning refrigeration school.
Yeah.
Making it 2-year rather than 1, and so we brought in at the time there was 8 high schools. We brought in all of the counselors.
Wow.
And we talked to them about, what a great opportunity some of these trades are. I mean, an HVAC technician is worth their weight in gold. It used to be that your biggest expense was going to the doctor. Now it's getting your furnace tuned up.
Well, yeah, and we need that here. You either need your furnace tuned up or your air conditioning, fine-tuned around here.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing too. We do a lot of residential as well as the big projects, and it's kind of amazing when in the middle of winter when somebody will call, their furnace is out. It's usually the conversation is usually, can I get on your list and get over when you can? And boy, I tell you, when that air conditioner is out in the summertime, that's a whole different call. I need someone right now.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, that being said, the need for educated folks in our vocational, schools. You've had something to share with some of our younger people today, some advice. What would you share with them?
Well, I would say, you know, when you start out into, say, getting into junior high school area, start really thinking about what interests you.
Yeah.
You know, so many of us went to college, like, that's the track most people took.
Yeah.
And you get out, and sometimes, my brother, for example, graduated from a local university and then went back into M-State and became an electrician, never looked back.
Yeah.
So start looking at what interests you, because there's more often than not, these kids can turn those interests into well-paying jobs and a fun career.
Yeah, fun career, enjoying your work environment significantly. Absolutely. Well, good enough. And you're originally from Fargo?
Yes, I'm originally from Fargo. When I got out of college, in those days, everybody left Fargo. There was nothing. You get out of college, you come back to Fargo, and the word was, nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, in fact, they just had a thing in the paper about how many people had left Fargo in that era, or left North Dakota in that era, to the point where the state of North Dakota was down to about 60,000 people.
Wow.
And they put in this, what they called Vision 2000, to bring that back. And so we all left. We all went to Minneapolis, Chicago, Denver, and other parts of the country. And then back in about 2000, 2010, Doug Burgum, people like that were putting out the word, hey, you know what, Fargo's kind of cool, you should come back and check it out. So we came back, and for me, it was one of the Gibb brothers retired, so
yeah.
I came back and never looked back. I'm so happy to be back. I just love this town, and it is so cool.
Yeah.
And I live right downtown, and personally, I wouldn't live anywhere else but downtown.
Yeah.
But Fargo, all of it's cool. My daughter just bought a house down by Horace, which is actually a Fargo address, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So,
No kidding.
yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, listen, I really appreciate you sharing some time with us.
Thanks, Robert.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And,
nice to see you again.
My pleasure. Absolutely. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks.